Maddie Weeks, everybody. Wow. Maddie is producing a show in the Melbourne International Comedy Festival called Queerly Beloved. It's a great, fantastic lineup show full of great queer acts. So go and see that if you would like to see more queer stuff. Yeah, fantastic. Keep that going. Let's get some more claps. Welcome to the stage, Heather Joan. Hi, my name's Heather Joan, and I'm transgender. I've been out for almost like 5 years now, and for a couple of years I've been having hot girl problems. Yes? Yeah, like some things feel weird to brag about, but one thing that keeps happening to me is multiple times I've been driving and a guy's been trying to hit on me from his moving car. I don't know what like the end goal is there. But like one of the weirdest times I was driving and this guy who was driving next to me kept trying to get my attention, and we stopped at like a red light next to each other and he kept like being like, roll down your window, roll down your window. And I wanted to see what he would try and say, so I rolled down my window and he said, you're beautiful, follow me to the park. This is like the start of 2020, like before parks were even cool. I didn't follow him to the park, despite his confidence, but I went and saw my friend Grace later that night, and she was like, oh my god, that guy was going to murder you in that park. And I told her it was like the middle of the day, and she's like, oh my god, that guy was going to murder you in broad fucking day. Like, that's how cute you look today. This might be the first room I've done where this might be relatable, but usually this is quite unrelatable. All of my friends keep buying vaginas. Is that relatable to anyone? Buying vaginas? I don't think I want one. I kind of think being a chick with a dick is cool. Also, I hear it's like quite complicated having a vagina. Yeah. But my friend Daria, she did something cool because her surgery kept getting delayed because of all the lockdowns, which is that she got a cast made of her dick turned into a dildo. So the first dick to fuck her own new vagina was her own dick. Yeah, I just think that fucking raw. Daria and I, yeah, I'll tell you about this, you guys are awesome. Daria and I had hooked up before, and I've actually hooked up with a couple of trans girls who now have vaginas, which means that I've sucked some dicks that are no longer in circulation. Yeah, I think that's cool, so honestly, I find that like most people I meet are pretty cool about trans stuff, or at least like they're not like hateful or bigoted. They might just be ignorant. They might just not know what they're talking about. I had this experience recently where I was walking with my friend Tom, who's a lovely straight boy, and it was like a weird time of day, and I wanted to get a coffee, and we're walking around Brunswick where I live. And I go into this coffee shop, and there's no one in there, and the only person working there is one really, really old Italian woman. And I asked her whether she had any dairy alternatives, and she just held up a 2-litre bottle of full cream dairy milk. I was just like, and then I didn't get a coffee, but as we were leaving, she was like, see you later, boys. And my friend Tom was like, oh my god, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I'm not angry at that woman, she didn't know about almond milk. Like, she lives in Brunswick. I also think it's funny that she just saw someone who she thought was a boy wearing a dress asking for nut milk and got scared. I think that's good. I do think that like trans representation and trans like education is really important for people. One of the reasons why I think that is that when I came out to my mom, she told me that the only reference point for transgender people she had was Buffalo Bill. Yeah, the serial killer from Silence of the Lambs. I used that to my advantage though. I said to her, well, maybe if Buffalo Bill's parents were more supportive. I'm having actually a really cool 2022 because at the start of the year my girlfriend proposed to me. For the straight people, like with 2 girls in a relationship, she proposed to me, which means that she's the top, if you don't know how that works. She's really cool though, she's bisexual and she's dated trans people before, so we can, like, she's really good at affirming me. She also knows like exactly how to make me feel bad. Because I used to do a lot of drugs and I'm sober now, but I still will eat like a whole bag of candy, like a psycho. And sometimes I'll like eat some candy or something and she'll be like, oh, little piggy. I'm like, hey, and she's like, I'm sorry, female little piggy. That's pretty cool. It is kind of scary, it's kind of scary to girls in a relationship. I don't know if there are any girls in relationships with girls here, but it is kind of scary sometimes, especially if we're both on our periods. I actually didn't know that trans women could get periods before I started hormones, but that's all hormonal, so sometimes my body gets cramps and is like, shed your uterine lining, and I literally cannot do that. But I miss my mom and I hate my mom at the same time. I order like a slice of cheesecake from Uber Eats at like 11 p.m. A little piggy. And a cis friend of mine was like, well, at least you don't bleed. And I told her I do bleed, but that's only because my fiance is really arrogant when it comes to how much of her hand she can fit inside me. I used to close on that, and now I just don't. Now I just stay here. I'm just like, let's just keep looking at each other. I got this new job where I work with kids. I work in like empathy and diversity education for high schools. And one of the things that entails is that I work with a lot of Christians. And I don't have anything against Christians, but they keep asking me to tell them a joke. And I actually have this joke about Jesus that I'm too scared to tell them, but I want to tell you. And then you can tell me whether I should tell it to Evan at work. So Jesus is actually my type of guy, kind of. Like hipster, junkie, Brunswick-looking motherfuckers. I'm not Christian, but I do love the body of Christ. As all crucified. I just like the kind of guy who like has daddy issues but can also be daddy. You know what I mean? People with dicks, you ever thought of a stigmata hand job? That's the whole, okay. Yeah, that's the part, isn't it, that I should say. I'll do one more thing and then I'll get out of here. It is weird for me that I work with kids. Because I used to do porn, I used to do sex work. Not that I think that sex workers shouldn't be allowed to work with kids, but just it is a bit weird for me. But there's this porn concept. This is either the best thing or worst thing I've ever thought of. I've got this porn concept because transgender porn used to be the most popular porn category, as the straight men in the audience know. But now it's like interracial gangbang and incest. Like incest is in like stepmoms, stepsisters. You know what I mean, dude? And I also, sorry, I also love like early noughties, like pop punk music, like emo music, like My Chemical Romance and shit like that. So I've got this porn concept that's like trans, it's got an emo reference, it's got incest, and it's an interracial gangbang, right? We all got that? So it's me getting fucked by a group of step-siblings of color. Right? And it's called Welcome to the Black Parade. Alright, I've been Heather Joan, thank you so much.